A year ago, I did a pick a card reading about how the energy of the eclipse is going to affect the collective. I can't help sometimes what comes out in a reading, so I picked up on the energy of crash retrieval. And it's funny because when that came up, I was like, why is this coming up for one? And for two, people are going to think I'm crazy, you know? So, because I didn't want to deviate too much from the main topic of the reading, I didn't dive into it. I didn't really get any clarification. But basically, I just said that something about UAP, UFO sightings will heighten, and that there's going to be more supernatural events in the world leading to widespread media coverage where there's going to be documentaries made, movies made, and stuff like that. And lo and behold, a year later, November 2025, they came out with a new documentary called Age of Disclosure. So, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the documentary, click off of this video, check it out if you're interested, and maybe come back to this video. I'm going to read you a summary on basically what the documentary is about. I watched it last night. And it says the documentary is directed by Dan Farah. It strings together testimony from dozens of former U.S. government, military, and intelligence officials asserting that there has been a long-running government effort to conceal the reality of non-human intelligence and recovered craft technology. It says former Pentagon official Luis Elizondo narrates and anchors much of the story. He says that while running the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, he and his colleagues uncovered evidence of a secret multi-decade program that goes far beyond what has been publicly disclosed. So they're lying to us. They're omitting this information. He claims that this program has been active at least since the 1940s, starting around the Roswell era, and it involves crash retrievals of UAPs, recovered material, and sometimes biological remains. So they're finding bodies, which is crazy. They're finding bodies of other races of beings in these crashes. According to some of the other participants, they're claiming that these retrievals weren't isolated events, but part of a systematic effort to capture, study, and reverse engineer technology of non-human origin. So those of you that don't understand the term reverse engineering, is basically when you look at something, pick it apart because you want to copy what it is. Oh, okay, this goes here, I'm going to put this here. Okay, this is like this, I'm going to make mine like that. So basically, they're like taking these UFO crashes and reverse engineering this technology for their own good. And they're also saying that this is the film weaves in statements from interviewees who say unidentified craft have been seen as restricted military and nuclear sites, or they've been seen over, restricted military and nuclear sites, and that the government, especially that of US, China, and Russia, are all effectively in a race to unlock this technology. So it's like everybody's trying to get their hands on this technology. And that should make humanity nervous. What if this shit gets into the hands of the wrong people, you know? But yeah, I just thought this was really interesting. And one thing that I'm going to highlight about this documentary that I found super, super interesting is the pushback by the religious community within the government. It says Elizondo has described both in the documentary context and in earlier public comments that a faction inside the Pentagon push back against this research because they view the subject through a religious lens. So basically, it's not fitting their dogmatic religious narrative, right? So a lot of people were saying that they believe that UAPs were demonic or supernatural rather than a physical phenomenon, and that these religious interpretations hindered serious scientific investigation, which is crazy to me because I thought demons were supposed to be the disembodied spirits of Nephilim. Disembodied meaning they don't have a body, where these beings have a body, right? Demons don't have a body, hence why they have to possess people, right? These beings do have a body. So me personally, look, I don't claim to know everything. I don't claim to be the smartest person in the world, but I'm not an idiot either, right? Me personally, I believe that these beings are interdimensional beings of a different race, right? As opposed to demons, because again, demons are supposed to be disembodied. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Definitely give it a check out if you're already into this topic. It's really nothing too new that you haven't heard before, but it's still worth the watch. But yeah, I just wanted to point out that this prediction came true. I'm going to try to do some more videos on the topic and other topics that are really fascinating. I just did a reading on CERN. That was really cool. I'm going to do a part 2. What else? Oh, also he said that they found some of these UAPs in the ocean. And so my theory is that it's not that they specifically live in the ocean. I think that they have a portal in the ocean. You know, like in certain cities, to use the train, you got to go underground. So like in New York, for instance, if you want to get on the subway, you got to go underground to the subway station. So I feel like metaphorically, these crafts are going underwater to access these portals that are located on different ley lines all over the world. And don't get me wrong, I also feel as though there could also be underwater bases as well. But yeah, different story for a different day. Like I said, I'm going to do readings on all of these topics. I just wanted to kind of document this on my channel real quick. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you to all of the members of this channel. You can look forward to some readings on some of these fringe topics. Love you lots, and you guys will hear from me in the next video. Bye. Can really tap into that energy and use it to better yourself. And then we have alien, foreign, unknown, new, strange, unique, otherworldly, unfamiliar. Okay, so I'm picking up like on a world scale. You know how like in recent news we heard about the alien sighting at the Miami Mall, and you know the UFOs that landed in Vegas supposedly and all this shit. I'm picking up that's going to heighten after the eclipse. We're going to hear more, like we're going to see that more in the news. And I'm picking up it's almost shit's going to happen to where people that didn't believe in aliens, the way shit happens, you're like it's almost going to be, you can't deny it anymore. Me personally, I believe Bob Lazar, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. But you know, I don't, not to deviate too much from, you know, the reading, I'm just picking up UFO sightings. I think now they call them UAPs. All of that shit's going to heighten. And I'm picking up, they may make some sort of discovery. I'm even picking up on the energy of like crash retrieval. I don't know if you're like, some of you are into that, but I'm just picking up on something like on a world scale is going to it's going to get more sightings. I'm picking up on like the desert. So I don't know if they're going to see something out in the mountains or in the desert. Something is going to happen about regarding aliens, UFOs, UAPs, and it's going to be on the news. But overall, after the eclipse, there's going to be more sightings. But to bring it back down to the reading, I'm picking up some of you, if you're attracting love, this person could be an alien. So like